Good afternoon. It's a little late start for our daily devotional today, but the sun is shining, so we're thankful to be here and to be able to listen to God's word. We continue in our series talking about grief and loss and how we experience those things in our lives. Today, we're going to hear a little story from the life of King David. He is best friends with the son of the king Saul, and his name is Jonathan, and he and Jonathan sort of pal around together. And Saul gets jealous and of their relationship and threatens to kill David. And in this story, David and Jonathan have um, a moment to talk to each other about it. David fled from the camps at Ramah. He came to Jonathan and asked, "What have I done? What is my crime? How have I wronged your father that he wants me dead?" Jonathan said to him, "No, you're not going to die. Listen, my father doesn't do anything big or small without telling me first. Why would my father hide this from me? It isn't true." But David solemnly promised in response, "Your father knows full well that you like me. He probably said, 'Jonathan must not learn about this or he'll be upset.' But I promise you on the Lord's life and yours that I am this close to death." "What do you want me to do?" Jonathan said to David. "I'll do it. If Saul says, 'Fine, then I'm your servant, am safe.' But if he loses his temper, then you'll know for certain that he intends to harm me. So be loyal to your servant, because you've brought your servant into a sacred covenant with you. If I am guilty, then kill me yourself. Just don't take me back to your father." "Enough," Jonathan replied. "If I can determine for certain that my father intends to harm you, of course I'll tell you." There's a couple things that this story tells us about loss. One is that um, we are really good at denying the truth. We're really good at pretending the truth even when it's obvious isn't there. And David tells Jonathan that this reality is coming true, that his father, Jonathan's father, is going to kill David. And in some ways, this is a big loss for Jonathan, for his relationship with his father, maybe a loss of innocence to some extent. And so Jonathan's first reaction is denial, is to say, "No, that's not reality. That's not going to happen to me. That happened. That's you must be making it up or you misunderstood something because dad certainly would have told me." And what denial does is first it protects us from the sharpness of that experience. Sometimes loss can be overwhelming. Sometimes loss can be too much for us to take in emotionally or psychologically or spiritually. And so what we do is we block it. We push it away until we can handle it, until we can handle it better. The other thing we learn is that their relationship, their friendship, um, is stronger than that denial, is stronger than the loss. And so they stick with each other through the process. Sometimes when people are grieving or have lost someone, what we do is they push us away, and so we take a step back. And what Jonathan and David do is the opposite. Jonathan pushes back, creates distance from David, and David says, "No, we're going to be honest with each other." And Jonathan says, "Yeah, we're going to be honest with each other. We're going to be in relationship with each other. Your feelings are not too ugly for me to be here and to be present in this experience." And so we're often blessed with friends who are given to us by God. We're often blessed with communities that are given to us by God. We're blessed with an ability to be honest with God in our prayers. So even if we can't be honest with a friend, we can be honest with God about our experiences. And so when we find ourselves pushing back against people so that we can prepare, so we can better deal with our loss or our emotions, then we need to take that step back. But we need to acknowledge that that's what we're doing and to not totally isolate ourselves from our relationships, to not totally isolate ourselves from God. There's nothing we can feel that's too ugly for God to hear. There's nothing we can experience that's too difficult for God to be present with us in that moment. So when we feel that denial creeping in, when we feel that urge to isolate and push away coming in, then maybe we take a step back from people, but we don't take a step back from God, who's not going to take a step back from us even if we want it. God bless.